Congress drafting legislation.
And so if there is some kind of government-provided insurance, what will that mean for this, for ERISA? I mean, will that be a part of it? Will that be governed?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, that should be anticipated and written into the insurance. If government provides insurance, how are we going to deal with this issue of reimbursement? The funny thing today, and I don't know if funny is the right word, but the irony today is in government-provided insurance today, there is no absolute right of reimbursement. And for example, under the Federal Employees Health Benefit Plan, there is no federal right of reimbursement. And so if you're a federal employee and you get insurance through the federal government, Congress has not given that right of reimbursement. Whereas if you're employed in the private sector by a health insurance company through a plan, you have to pay them first dollar priority on the claim. And there's also ameliorative doctrines built into Medicaid and Medicare. So I can't help but think Congress wouldn't be involved in looking at this issue. But under the current state of affairs, the private insurance industry has run unabated over the last decade in giving themselves the self-granted right of reimbursement, top dollar priority, and that has unfortunately been enforced by the vast majority of the federal courts because ERISA says federal state law is preempted.
So one of the cases I read preparing for this conversation dealt with a young woman who was injured, and the insurance company sent this form to sign saying if you sue and are reimbursed, you have to pay us first, and if you don't sign this form, we're not going to pay anything. So that's happening also. That
is happening also, yes. It's just a matter of gamesmanship. When, I advocate on behalf of victims, and I always have, and as soon as we have a victory, the other side figures out a way to get around it. In 2002, the U.S. Supreme Court denied reimbursement to an ERISA plan in a case out of California, out of the Ninth Circuit. And then the insurance industry figured out how to draft around it, and they've done so successfully. And then when the issue was revisited in 2006, the health insurance industry won. The ERISA plan was allowed reimbursement. So when we get minor victories on a case-by-case basis, and that's one of the devices is, well, we're not going to pay you anything until you absolutely agree in writing that you give us back any money that you collect.
Wow. And so your gut tells you what is going to happen with this issue and reform?
I hope that we bring light to it. The more light we bring to it, I think there's a great chance that it'll be addressed. Thus far, the insurance industry has benefited by the fact that this has been kept under wraps. The best thing, even though it was a terrible catastrophe for Mrs. Shank, but the best thing that happened for this cause was her case and the fact the Wall Street Journal ran this case on the front page of its paper, because that triggered a great deal of media attention to the case.
Okay. Roger Byrne, thank you for being on Midday today, and we will continue to follow this, and we'll have you back again to continue the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kara.
You're listening to Dakota Midday on South Dakota Public Broadcasting.